Today, El Club América tied 0-0 in the first leg of the semifinals in Estadio Akron in Guadalajara. It was definitely not the result that I expected. It was probably not the result that America fans expected either. But yeah, final score 0-0, a goalless draw in Guadalajara in the first leg of the semifinals of the Clausura 2024. That's right, a Clásico Nacional semifinal aggregate. And it was definitely different than the quarterfinals for America. Let's talk about this. So, for Club America standards, this was abysmal. The offense was non-existent the entire first half. They just could not get balls into the area. They could not get good shots on target. They were really non-existent during the first half. They were a little more prominent in the second half. They did have some close opportunities, but again, they couldn't finish with good shots on target. And because of that, it was a 0-0 result. Really, the midfield didn't play well either. I mean, the midfield and offense, I felt like got completely outplayed. In fact, the whole team today, you could argue, got physically outplayed by Chivas. And I think that's because they were very unprepared in terms of Chivas and their style of play entering this game and their strategy. Remember in the quarterfinals against Pachuca pretty much hung back and were letting America have opportunities and take shots and letting their defense just do the work, playing solely defensively. And they had like 5 or 6 center backs on the field. So America, I think, was caught by surprise. They were caught off guard by Chivas and the fact that they played the opposite of how Pachuca played, in that they were aggressive. They were not afraid to push up. And because of that, they got physically outplayed today. In terms of grades, so I'll start from the backfield to the offensive front for America. Goalkeeper, A. Malagon had some good saves. He had a couple really good ones that prevented goals, which is really good for him. I think his call-up to the national team and his opportunity as a starter this summer in the Copa America, I think, is very well deserved. So he had a good performance today. Stopped a potentially bad result for America, or at least a worse one. Center backs, I'll give them a B+. Again, America as a team got physically outplayed, but the defense still did good enough and were able to intercept balls going into the area, and were able to also block shots, which was key as Chivas was really pushing up and trying to create offensive plays and opportunities. I'll say the same thing for the defensive wingbacks. Chicote had he had a hard fall early in the game. He was able to play on, and the wingbacks were pretty good. They weren't as good as the center backs, but they were still able to help block some shots that were going into the box or potentially on target. So I'll give them a B grade as well. Midfield, I'll give them a C-. Again, they got physically outplayed today. They were not able to provide good service or pass the ball up front to their offensive stars in Javairo, in Julian Quiñones, or Henry Martin. I mean, granted, not that Henry Martin really is an offensive superstar. He's more of a system player. And because the system wasn't working today, Henry Martin, we'll talk more about it in a little bit when we go to the offense, he didn't have a good game either. But the midfield did struggle to produce anything in terms of positive momentum on the field. And that's because Chivas played very physical football and were very aggressive. You got to give credit to Fernando Gago and Chivas. They had a strong showing today, especially when you compare it to the Conca Champions, where they got absolutely thrashed. This was definitely a different result, and a result that they will take. So, C- grade for the midfield. Offensive front, D. They did not play well today. They really were non-existent the first half. They struggled to get open. There was no good service provided to them, and the few times that there were good opportunities in the second half and they were provided good service, they couldn't finish with good shots. So they really did not play well today. Henry Martin, again, when the system and the other more talented players around him aren't playing well, he collapses and is practically a ghost on the field. That's what happened today. It was definitely a rough day for the offense. It's not ideal, and unfortunately this 0-0 result puts America at a disadvantage, and now the advantage is in favor of Chivas. Because remember, with the Liga MX playoff aggregate rules, should it end in a tie, should both teams score, say, one goal, say the next game ends 1-1, and it's a tie in aggregate, away goals matter, and that would mean that Chivas would advance because they would have that crucial away goal in Estadio Azteca. So what this means now is America needs to either hope for a 0-0 draw, God forbid, should it reach that point in leg 2, because then they would advance on higher ranking, or straightforward, they have to win leg 2 in Estadio Azteca in front of their home crowd. So the pressure's on. Now let's see what they'll do, how they'll respond, and if they'll play better with the right adjustments. Andres from AA Sports, let me know in the comments what you guys think below of the game. Definitely not what we expected, not what I expected. What are your predictions for leg 2? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.